Hi there, it's Mark Carlson here. There's just one contributing factor that will guarantee your success or not. That's what this week's video is about. There's just one thing that you've got to master. Come on in. Okay, so to be a success, there are many steps, right? There's not just one, but there's one thing that you have to master, and that one thing absolutely determines whether you will get to a successful result or not. And that one contributing factor is how you communicate with yourself. So especially when things don't go the way that you'd like them to go, right? Because when you make a decision to do something, you take the actions based on that decision, and then you get the result that you want, you could classify that as a success. If, however, you make a decision, you take the actions, and then you don't get the result you want, you could classify that as a failure. Well, it's either a failure, or you could put it into another team called the learning team. Now, that's the team you always want to be in. You see, if you classify anything as a failure, then you're judging yourself. And when you judge yourself, there's no room for expansion because you're saying you're wrong. So you can't find a winning solution when you're saying that you're wrong. So if you put a quote-unquote failure, or another way of saying it, if you get a result that you don't want, if you put that experience into a learning team category as soon as you possibly can, then what happens is that all of a sudden everything can open. You can start to see positivity, solutions, because you're saying, okay, great, I'm one step closer to the result that I'd like to get. Now, as I started with, before any of that happens, the way you communicate with yourself determines absolutely everything. Whether you get a success or a failure or a result you don't want in your life is always dependent on what you say to yourself about what happens or about what anything means. If you think about your entire life, all it ever is what you say anything means. Now you tell yourself it's that, and if other people agree with you, you absolutely think that it is that, not realizing that it's only that because you're saying it's that. Now it might actually be that, or it might not be that, but the fact is it is that for you, if you follow what I mean. So whatever you say anything means is what life is for you. So the way you communicate with yourself about what you're doing to get a successful result absolutely determines whether you get it or not. If you say something to yourself like, oh, it's never going to work, that's it. You're right. It won't work because there'll be no more actions toward it working. But if you've made a resolve, if you've made a final decision that nothing is going to happen other than me getting to that result. Now, obviously there are many things that will happen, but what I mean by that is the only thing that will ever happen eventually is that I will get that result. And no matter what happens on the way to that, I'll get that result. Now, that's me communicating, or that's you communicating with yourself in a way that was always helping you stay in the learning team so that you continue to drive toward the result that you want to get. So you've got to be very, very good at communicating with yourself in a way that empowers you, that lifts you. The questions to ask are, what's the solution to this? What can I learn about myself from this? What could I do better? Who could I talk to that could help me in this area? What actions could I take right now that will make me feel good? You see, all of these questions are going to give me a positive answer. If I ask a question like, what's wrong with me? The brain will answer it with a big long list. Why can't I do this? Again, you'll get a big long list. So these are not good questions. But the first thing is to make a powerful decision that that's where I'm going. I don't care how long it takes me. Yes, you can put a time scale on it, it will help you. but that's the only place that I'm going. And when you don't get there, all the steps toward getting there that don't particularly work, all of those steps, you communicate with yourself in a way that makes you feel good about yourself and pulls you back up one more time and says, yeah, let's keep going. We're going to get there. We're going to crack the code. Have an absolutely fantastic day when you watch this, and I look forward to talking to you next time. Thank you so much.